The works are often gestures or actions, and the challenge for me is to see the most inventive way that I can stitch these things together, but also the most mundane way. And that's sort of what I'm interested in, the miraculous out of the absolutely ordinary aspects of everyday life. The works are born out of a frustration with the world, frustration and anxiety and awkwardness as well. I'm not going to hide away from the fact that the most sincere I am is when I'm doing something silly or pointless or awkward, and I'm not trying to be weird for the sake of being weird. I tend to make things that are quite simple, made up of lots of little parts. I liken it to collage or assemblage.
4 in the morning and there's work to be done. Take your pick and your shovel.
I've used audience members before in the past, and it's always been in a much more playful way. And it's meant to be a bit of a silly way, and it's meant to be a way that shows that I'm distanced from the audience. They're meant to be doing things for me that aren't logical, and I want people to tell me what the normal way to behave is, because I'm not sure what it is to be normal, and I especially don't know what it is to be normal when standing in front of a load of people doing everyday things but not done very well. The actions that I do are mostly quite boring, quite banal, quite simple actions. They're not anything that is particularly difficult to do, but they're meant to be done in sort of a strange, off way, because that's the natural performer that I am. I don't think I'm naturally gifted as a performer, but I think I have a good sense of timing and rhythm. The most annoying thing is when I lose that sense of rhythm in a live performance, because I know that I am capable of doing it, but sometimes the anxiety of a live moment gets ahead of me. I think I am definitely an awkward performer, because I like stillness and I like silence and I like very subtle nuances to a piece, and sometimes I try and disassociate myself with those smaller nuances that are quite quiet, but that's my nature, is to be subtle, I guess, and kind of unnoticed, which is quite difficult to do when you're standing in front of a room full of people. When I try to do the more silly things that I've done on stage, I always feel more self-conscious of those things, because it feels like it's letting out a side of my personality that I don't normally show at least on a daily basis. Maybe I show it to some people, but not to a lot of people. I do have a relationship to my body, to performance art, but I do think that it's not really born out of the body art of the 60s and 70s. My body in my performance is used as a vehicle to move objects, to move props, and to also degrade itself. The performance is too quiet, it can be a bit too lost. But when I fall, it's a moment that's meant to shake you up and make you wake up and realise what I'm doing in front of you. And it's meant to be awkward, and it's meant to be clumsy, and it's meant to be a bit silly. And it's not often that I do that, but I try and do it in every performance to some degree, because I want to use it as a way to hold people's attention. I sort of approach work in an allegorical sense. If you look at items like that, they really are meant to take on a different meaning as to what you might intend for them, and I guess it's up to me as a performer to dictate those things to you, but I don't really want you to know those things. All you need to know is that the thing that is happening on stage right here, right now, is the thing that I want you to think about. Now, I'd much rather hear what people have to say about what their relationship to that piece was. I can't think of any other way to justify them. I'm not a dancer. I'm not a wrestler. As much as I wish I was a wrestler, I'm not. But I guess I take elements from all these things, and I hope that they make some sort of incoherent yet cohesive narrative. And it's not up to me as a performer to bring you in, it's up to the objects and the use and the misuse of these objects. My hope is that you're made to see something that you might not have seen before from an everyday object. And if you have seen it before, then go home and do it more, because that's the way that we need to change this world, is to reevaluate the things that are around us. You need to go away and you need to change something about how we see the world and how the world is operating, because it's not really working. And that's what I hope to achieve in doing these performances.